Hey, what's up my bookish peeps? So, different layout for a video. This is different. Okay. I thought this would be like a better way to do this video, which it is how I annotate my books. So I'm gonna be talking about like what I have in my little annotating pouch thing. I have a stack of books here that I'm gonna show you guys. The different ways I've annotated like throughout like the few years that I have been annotating. So I'm gonna show you that. And yeah, so I don't know where to start. Okay, let's start with what I am currently using to annotate. And then I'll show you guys some of the annotating I have done. So I have this pouch. It says book stuff. I got it from Underlined at a BookCon. Can't remember which one. But yeah. So this actually wasn't in the pouch, but okay, so I have the page flags, sticky flags, whatever we want to call it. I got this one from a different book because this has all the colors. So I'll go into all the different colors and what I use each one for in a little bit. Yeah, so I have these page flags. So the pack that I got, it came with like 8, so 4 of these that has like, it's like a little arrow, and then there's these that are just like rectangular. So if you can tell, I have a few because I run out of certain colors quicker than other colors. So usually I open up a new pack once I start a new book. So that's why this one is in one of the books I'm currently reading. Yeah, and why it still has all 7 colors. So I actually first started off with these, which has 5 colors. So it has, let me show you. So it has like these 5 colors minus the purple ones. Am I showing you right? Okay. So it has pink, orange, yellow, green, and blue. But then I realized I needed more colors, so I upgraded to the 7 colors. And everything that I talk about, I'm gonna link down below in the description box, so you go check them out. So these I got from Amazon. Hopefully this all makes sense. Oh yeah, so one of the things I am doing is like with some of these, once I run out of like a certain color, I'm trying to use them up. So I'll like take like the pink and put it on this one, if that makes sense. But I'm trying to find a way to use up the ones that don't have all the colors. Or like with this one, I might use it for like a book that I may not need 7 colors for, and try and use them up. Those are my page flags and what I also have in here. So I use these pens, which I don't even know. They're Sipa. They're, I don't know if it focus. That's the brand. So I have a color to coordinate with each color in the page flags. So for this, I actually just like whatever I want to like write down, I use the pens. And then I also have highlighters, because I like to highlight the like lines that I'm annotating. I know a lot of people underline, but that takes too much time for me to underline. I think it's just faster to just highlight them, and it just makes your book look colorful. So I don't mind the highlighters. And I just have the Target brand up and up highlighters. So I also have these Post-its, and sometimes I don't want to actually write in the book. So what I do is, I'll use the Post-its, and then like, let's say, how did I do this? I haven't done this method in a while, so I think I use this dark pink one for the pink and the orange. Use this one for the yellow and the green. This one I used just for blue, I believe, and then if I remember right, and then I used this other pinkish one for the purples. So yeah, so that's just when I'm not sure if I'm going to like the book, so I don't want to write in it, so I just write down my thought on the post-it, and I'll show you an example of that once I get to like showing you the books that I have annotated. And then I also had these white post-its. So I started using this. I actually got the idea from Chloe from Books with Chloe, because what she does is like, I think every 50 or 100 pages she writes down like her thoughts so far in the book. I believe she only does her thoughts. What I do is that I kind of write like a little summary of what happened those 50 pages. So yeah, like a little summary of what happened those last 50 pages, and I also write down like a little bit of like my thoughts so far on like what's going on in the story. So yeah, so I put those every 50 pages, and it's very helpful for a series. So if you don't have time to read a series, you can just reread your little post-its and the summaries that you have on there, and then it refreshes your memory on what happened in the book, so you could go on to read the next book in the series. And I used to use the exact one I used to use orange post-its, but I felt that, I don't know, it didn't stand out to me. Even though it's orange, the writing didn't stand out to me as much, so I thought that the white will be better, because then with the black pen it's just like very bold and I could like read it better versus writing on the orange post-its. And then these post-its, I got the white ones I got from Staples online. They come in a pack of these they come in a pack of 5, so you get and I've used a good amount, so it's not full. So you get 5 in a package. When I got it, I think it was like $5, but I think it's like $8 regularly, because I believe yeah, I got it when it was on sale, so I got 2 of those, so it could last me a while. So I got in total 10 of like the little packs. So yes, I'm writing on these post-its. I prefer to use this pen because it just writes better. It's also a Staples pen. It's the Staples brand, True Red. So I don't know, it just writes some. I'll use. I'm writing upside down, so I don't know, it just writes better, so I prefer this pen. That's what I've been using. And then I'll show you also the point, because I didn't do this before. So these pens that I use to write in the book, that's the point. It's 0.38 millimeters. I'll show you guys if it will focus. Hopefully you can see what it is. So yeah, so those pens. So now I'm gonna get into, first let's go back to the page flags and tell you guys what I use each color for. Okay, so I need water. Okay, so usually what I use each color for. Pink is for something I love. So like, I don't just something I love. If I really like what a character said, or if something like romantic happens between like a couple in a book, I use the pink. Orange means plot. So it's something that I feel like it's important to the plot, I use orange for. Yellow, because yellow writes happy, I use for funny. So anything I find funny in the book, I use the yellow. Green is for like a quote that I really loved. Even though I could technically use pink, I like using the green to do like just like a quote that really stands out to me, and like a quote that's really powerful and not just like, oh, cute. I use the green for. So yeah. Blue, it's one of the ones I actually don't use that often, and that's sad. So like anything that I find that's sad in a book, I use the blue for. Okay, if the angle is a little bit different, it's because my camera overheated, so I had to wait for it to cool down. Hopefully that won't happen. It probably will happen again. Anyways, where I left off. Okay, so the purples, honestly, it changes. Okay, so for retellings, I use the dark purple for anything that reminds me of the original story that it's retelling, and then the light purple is commentary, so just like anything I want to say, like oh, like this character is annoying, or I don't know, or like I actually use it a lot for like WTF moments. I was looking through some of my other books that I've annotated, and sometimes I use the dark purple for like shocking moments and the light purple for commentary. So shocking moments, it's just anything that I catch me by surprise, I didn't see it coming, that shocks me. So that's what I use the purple for. Hopefully that all makes sense. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into showing you examples. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. This is the third book in the Red Queen series. I'm gonna try and not show any like spoilers or say any spoilers, but be warned. So for this one, this is like the first like any kind of annotating that I started doing, which was just using these regular like post-its and writing on those. And I didn't highlight, I didn't underline, I didn't write on the actual book, I just wrote on the post-its. So I'll show you this one. Okay, I'll show you this page. Just don't read anything if you don't want spoilers. So this what I'm pointing out with this, you can't even see it, with this post-it is the italics, which it was just going into like, we're getting some backstory into like the history of the silver. So I thought it was important, so I put a post-it on there and wrote on it. As you can see, hopefully, I just wrote silver history. Literally, that's all I wrote. I'll show you. Okay, again, if you don't want any spoilers, just don't read the actual text of the book. Okay, so like this one, I thought that was funny that a character said my colors. Like, I don't think it was a curse word, but I just found it funny that they said my colors. And I quoted it and I said my colors, LOL. When I first started, it was it was sometimes something that I thought may be important, something that I found funny, something that I liked, but you know, didn't actually write in the book. So like those like my first dip into annotating, if you will. So there's that. And then this is the first book in the Renegades trilogy. So I went through a phase using these kind of flags, so I'll show you. I'll take one out. Actually, now I don't know where it went. So they just look like, wait, where am I pointing at? Oh, there you go. So they just look like this, but I very quickly found that these don't work because I have no idea what any of it means. But with this book, for the most part, again, if you don't want spoilers, don't read the text. For the most part, I just like put it in places. I have no idea what any of it means. So I quickly found that this was not useful. And they were looking through it, there was only a few times where I found that I used little post-its to actually write something, but that didn't happen often. So most of these flags, no idea what they mean. So again, quickly found this was not helpful, so I stopped doing that pretty quickly. So then I'm gonna talk about Rule by Ellen Goodlett. This is the first book in the Rule duology. So for this one, I'll show you in the front, I have this post-it and I just used the highlighter to put to this one. I only had the 5 colors flags. So if you can tell, I used the pink for love and sad, orange for important, yellow funny, green I use for shocking and messages, and the blue I use for commentary. And if you're wondering what messages means, this book is the main characters, they get the cryptic messages from this person that is trying to out their secrets. So throughout the whole book, these 3 characters get these messages. So I wanted to keep track of them, so I used the grain to keep track of that, as well as any shocking moments. So yeah. Okay, so this is another example where I didn't actually write in the book. I wasn't sure I was gonna like the book, so I didn't want to write in it. So I just used this method that I showed you guys before, using these post-its to write whatever I wanted to write, and then I stuck it in the book. So I can show you this example, and it goes back to the whole messages thing. Again, don't read the text. But here, I just, see, I put the page flag here, and then on the post-it, I just wrote Ren's first message. So I know that that's when Ren got her first message. So yeah, that's what I did. I'm gonna actually cover this one. So that's what I did. The whole book, I just put like the flag and then the post-it and wrote down what was happening, or like my thought or whatever. I'm covering because it's a spoiler. So that's that method. And then now I've gotten to the point. This book was actually a reread when I did the annotation, but I'll show you. So this is Cinder, the first book in the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, if you guys don't know. So I'll show you. I'm actually gonna take it out because I don't want to bend the cover. So in this post-it, pink, love, orange plot, yellow funny, green quotes, blue sad, dark purple. If you can tell, I only have one purple highlighter. So for this, I just color it in a bit darker, so to symbolize the darker page flag. And then light purple is commentary. Depends, I have 2 different kinds of purple, so that works out. Oh, I didn't say the dark purple. It says Cinderella, so this is a Cinderella retelling. So anything that reminded me of Cinderella, of the Cinderella story, I used a dark purple. And I actually also used it for any reference to the other characters in the next book. So if I got some, like any character that were mentioned, like, okay, I'm not gonna say because it's a spoiler in case you guys haven't read it. So yeah, so anytime a character was mentioned that comes up in the later books, I also use dark purple for. Oh, I also have spoiler vlogs for each of the Lunar Chronicles books if you guys want to check out that video. And I also, for Cinder, I talk about my annotations, and I pretty much go through like a good chunk of my annotations in those videos. So I'll link the first one up here in the cards, so you can check that out if you would like. But I'll show you an example. Okay, this is a very simple one, not really a spoiler, yeah, and it's on page 12. So like, okay, so this is an example of my most recent way that I annotate. So I highlight whatever I want to highlight. So here I highlighted Prince Kai, and then I go saying, "You are even more handsome in person," and I just wrote, "I love Aiko," in pink because love. Like, sometimes I don't actually write anything. Like this one, I just found this line funny, so I highlighted it and put a page flag. Okay, I think this is gonna be the last one for this. So like for this one, dark purple, it reminded me of the original Cinderella story because she's talking about her finishing her chores and then she could go to the ball. So like that's a reference to the original Cinderella. But yeah, that's pretty much how I annotate. And look, when you flip it, it's so colorful, isn't it? I mean, once you get to like, yeah, like, isn't that pretty? So colorful. And then another way that I annotate is what kind of annotate is the post-it method, the white post-its. So I use these when I really don't want to do the very heavy annotations, and but I do want to remember a lot of the book. So the post-it method. So this is Frost Blood is the first book in the I don't actually remember the name of the series, but it's the first book in the series. So for this one, okay, so with this one I wrote a little summary and my thoughts every 50 or so pages. So like, okay, so I did this one, the first one on page, I'm actually gonna cover it on page 57, because it's the first page after the 50 page mark that there was like a big space for me to put a post-it. So that's what I tried to do. Like, let's see, page 50. So page 50 was here. So like there's no space for me to put a post-it. So I just went to like the next page where like there was like a big space to put a post-it at the end of a chapter. So I just did that like, yeah, so around every 50 pages. So this one was on page 99. So it was the end of that chapter. Then I only have one of like the page flags. I guess I just thought that was like really important. Yeah, it was just something that I thought was important, so I put a page flag. I didn't highlight or anything. Or write on it. I just put a little post-it because, again, this was one that I didn't want to do very heavy annotating. I read it in one day during the reading rush, so I didn't want to do the heavy annotation. But if I wanted to read the next book, because it is a series, I wanted to be able to go back and remember like what it's about, especially because I read it in one day. So I could just go through the post-its and read that and refresh my memory on one, what happened, and two, my thoughts on the book. So that's the last example that I have. So like I said, everything, a lot of the stuff that I mentioned, so if you want me to, I'll link the highlighters, the pens, I'll link the white post-its, I'll link the page flags. If you guys want to look at those, I'll also link this pen because I think it's a good pen. That is all that I have for you guys today. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, seeing how I annotate my books, and also comment down below if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video. Also, if you want to share any other methods of annotating that you would like to share, and also subscribe if you haven't already, and if you would like to see more videos of me. And most of my videos aren't like in this format. It's usually like I'm talking to the actual camera, but this I thought was better to show you all the books and the materials. So yes, so subscribe if you want to see more. Also, like always, all of my social media links will be linked down below in the description box, so you can follow me on those platforms. And I'll catch you guys here next time on Yari Hearts Books. Bye!